Hey everybody, Francis Buckley here, and welcome to episode 2 of How Stuff Works. Now, in episode 1, we talked about getting the room set up, which pretty fundamental. Now, if you haven't got the room set up, I might go back and watch getting the room set up because everything else is get a foundation on that. So if you get a chance, go back and watch that so you get your room set up properly. All right. So today I want to talk about a subject that's extremely important, but that I find gets overlooked a lot when I go out there and do my research and look at the videos and the things that are being presented out there. And that concept is the concept of busing. All right. Now, people, you hear this term all the time, the program bus, the main stereo bus, the multi-channel bus, the auxiliary send bus, busing my drums, I got to bust this, I got to bust these things out to make stems and all this other stuff. Well, what is a bus? Well, I like to think of them in terms of what is a city bus? Hey, it's a thing that will take us from one place to another. And that's exactly what it is. It's an electronic pathway. I want this audio that's coming in here to go out and go out over here, and I want to be able to direct where that audio is going. Okay, so that involves busing. You've got to get your stuff in, you got to move it around, and you got to get your stuff back out. Okay? So with that in mind, I want to introduce you to what is known as Buckley's Rules of Busing. Now, Buckley's Rules of Busing are really, really, really simple, right? Because in concept, this is really simple. We can make it really complex, not to worry. There's a lot of people out there working day and night to make this more complex. But this part of it is extremely fundamental. You really need to have this down. Otherwise, you're always going to be fumbling through this stuff. But it's really simple. You got to get in, you got to move around, and you got to get back out. So Buckley's Rules of Busing work like this. Rule number one of Buckley's Rules of Busing. You got to get on the bus. Right? No matter what you want to do, you got to put your audio on the vehicle to go somewhere. Okay? So I have my microphone. I take a cable, plug it in my microphone, and I take my microphone, like for instance this one, and I plug it into input number 2 of my interface. Boom. I just got on the input bus, right? There's 2 ways in, the microphone or with a line, right? You're either going in acoustically or you're going in electronically. We'll talk about that in further videos, right? So I'm going in with a microphone. So that's the input. I got 2 ways in, mic and line. So I'm going in. That's a microphone getting on the input bus. Great. I am on the input bus. Okay. Well, now that bus has got to go somewhere, right? Now, sometimes that go somewhere is predetermined. Like for instance, if I tell the audio to go to the program bus is the bus that takes the audio out to the speakers or to whatever you're listening to, your speakers or your handy dandy white headphones, right? So that's a bus that's predetermined. Your program bus is a predetermined bus. Sometimes with that bus, you have to decide. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. So you've gotten on the bus has gone somewhere. It brings us to Buckley's Rule of Busing number 3, and that rule is you got to get off the bus. Right? So plug my microphone in, plug it into number 2, got on the bus. Tell the input number 2, go into Pro Tools, open up, or whatever your DAW may be, open up that DAW, open a track, tell that track, I want to receive input number 2. Put the thing in record, and whoop, you will see the meter jumping. You have gone somewhere. You got in the input bus, and you told the input bus to go to that track inside of your recording device. Now you want to listen to it back. You're going to tell that channel that you're recording onto to go out to your main output buses. Boink. You've gotten on the input bus. You told the input bus to send the signal over to here. You record the signal over here. You tell the output bus to deliver the signal out to whatever your output bus, whatever your program bus may happen to be. Okay? Program is actually the real word because where that was derived from was radio, the program. What's the program? Whatever you happen to be listening to. So anything that goes out to the program bus goes out to whatever we're listening to, which in most cases is our speakers. All right. Now, there can always be a little bit more to it than that, and here's a little bit more to it than that. Okay? And you can think of it in the same terms, and that's why I try to put it in this way, so it's kind of silly, and it's like, yeah, but we always remember that kind of stuff, right? Rule number one, what's Buckley's rule number one? Got to get on the bus, right? Well, if I walk up to the bus stop and here's the bus, but the doors are closed, I'm not getting on that bus, right? In other words, I may want to send something out of bus number one, but I may have to activate bus number one in some way. There may be an on button somewhere. Okay? So doink, I push the on button, which allows the audio to get on to bus number one. Great. We'll all sit in bus number one with our hands folded nicely on our laps, looking like good bits of audio, and nothing's happening. Right? Well, that's because the bus has got to go somewhere. All right. Sometimes going somewhere besides opening up the doors may be required for you to actually start the bus, right? So where there may have been an on button, there may also be a volume control. Quite simple. You want to get on the bus, you want to get in your car, you got to open the door. Want your car to go somewhere, you got to start the darn thing up. All right. So now you're on the bus, doors have been opened, you got on, they started the bus, you're ready to go somewhere. Now, some buses, as I mentioned before, the go somewhere, again, there may be a little more to it. You may have to decide where that bus is going. So you're going to take your drum set and you want to take your drum set out in stereo so you can compress it. So you'll put it across bus 1 and 2. Great. Put them all on bus 1 and 2. You go and you make sure that those buses are turned on, the doors are open, everybody can get in, you're ready to go. Great, everybody's on bus 1 and 2. Cool. Where's bus 1 and 2 going? Well, you have to decide. Well, if you want to compress them, then you're going to take bus 1 and 2 out into a compressor, out of a compressor, and back into a stereo tracks on the board, right? That's going somewhere. So you're going to take bus 1 and 2, and you're going to send it to this compressor. And then you're going to take the output of the compressor and you're going to bring it back up on 2 channels of the board, and you're going to get off the bus by taking those 2 channels of the board, turn them on, send them out to the program bus. Another get on the bus, go somewhere, get off the bus. Take that audio, put it on the bus, the program bus. Where's it going? It's going out to the speakers. How do you get off the bus? Well, you turn on the amplifier, turn up the speakers, and out it comes. Okay, so you're always going to be dealing with getting on a bus, going somewhere, and getting off the bus. And most of the time, if you can't hear something, it's probably because you missed one of those steps. Okay, so remember Buckley's rules of busing. It's really easy, right? You got to get on the bus. Sometimes the bus needs to be open the doors and get started. You may need to turn it on and turn up the volume. That bus, once the doors are open, you're on, the bus is running, it's got to go somewhere, right? Right? But that going somewhere might require you to determine where that bus is going to go. Your creativity determines where that bus is going to go, and your creativity determines why you would use the bus in the first place. More stuff to talk about later, right? And lastly, once the bus goes somewhere, when it gets there, you got to get off of it, because if you don't get off the bus, you're going to just go around and go right back where you came from, right? But again, getting off the bus may involve turning something on, turning something up. In the case of bringing it back from the compressor, plug it into 2 channels of the board. Well, until you turn those channels on, send them out to the program bus and turn up the volume, you're not going to hear anything. All right? So Buckley's rules of busing. Again, very simple. Get on the bus, go somewhere, get off the bus. All right. Hey, thanks for coming by. Next time, we're going to talk about the second concept that goes hand in hand with Buckley's rules of busing, and that's what's known as signal flow. All right. Thanks for stopping by. I will see you guys here next time.